Traders, welcome to our weekly top-down analysis. So for this episode, we are beginning with the Volatility 101S, and as always, we begin analyzing from the weekly time frame. So as we can see from the weekly time frame, price has been reacting from this supply zone, and then down here we have our demand zone. Therefore, from the weekly time frame, our bias is very clear. We are going to be looking for selling opportunities from the supply headed to the demand zone. Moving over to the daily time frame. So from the daily time frame, we have this internal break of structure. So we have an internal break of structure right there. So we have a break of structure, and then we also have this general break of structure right here. So we have another break of structure there, and then the other block which caused this internal break of structure, it is this other block from the daily time frame. It is that other block from the daily time frame. And then we also have our swing low at that level. So that's pretty much it from the daily time frame. Heading over to the 4 hours time frame. So from the 4 hours, we can adjust our order block to the 4 hours time frame. It is at that order block, and we can see price cleared the liquidity which was sitting here, and then went to go and tap into our order block, and then it went back again to tap into the order block, and it is still pushing to the downside until that level. Therefore, let's go ahead and maximize to see if we can get our most recent break of structure. So from here, we have a break of structure. From the 4 hours time frame, we have a break of structure right there. So we have a break of structure, and then the other block which caused the break of structure, it is this other block right there. So we have that order block, and then I'm seeing this level as liquidity that price has to clear to go and tap into our order block. So heading over to the 1 hour time frame. So from the 1 hour time frame, if we are to adjust our break of structure, it's going to be at this level right there. So at that level, we have a break of structure. And then the other block, which caused the break of structure, this other block from the 1 hour time frame, which is our entry time frame, it's going to be at that other block right there. And I am seeing all these levels as liquidity that price has to clear to go and tap into our order block. And then we also have a swing low here. Now, if we are to enter this trade, I'm going ahead to go and place the coordinates for the sell limit. So coordinates for the sell limit, our stop loss is going to be slightly above that high. Our entry price at the order block, and then our first take profit at this level, second take profit at that level. So if you want to go ahead and enter this trade with me, go ahead and place a sell limit on volatility 101S with your entry price at 1457.30, and then your stop loss at 1501.17, and then your first take profit at 1315.42, second take profit at 1185.81, and always apply proper risk management. So that's it from volatility 101S. And then moving over to volatility 100. So we can see we have a supply zone right there where price was pushing, and then price was also reacting from this resistance level. And then here at this level, we can see price is at this demand level, and we can see price is about to break through. As you can see, the momentum, sellers are in the market. Therefore, we're going ahead and mark our latest break of structure, our most recent break of structure. We can see price just cleared this low. So this is going to be our most recent break of structure to the downside. So we have a break of structure right there. And then the other block which caused this break of structure from the weekly time frame, it is this other block. Is that other block, and then heading over to the daily time frame. So from the daily time frame, we can see that this order block was mitigated because price went back in to go and retest that order block. And then we also have this break of structure right here. We also have this break of structure right there. And then the order block which caused that break of structure from the daily time frame, it is that order block right there where price mitigated because price went to go and tap in, and then we are pushing. And then we also have this break of structure right there. So we're going to be working with that break of structure. And then heading over to the 4 hours time frame. From the 4 hours time frame, if we are to adjust our order blocks, the first order block is going to be at that level where price stepped in, and then we're getting a push to the downside. And then we also have this break of structure right there. We have that break of structure, the general break of structure, and then we have an internal break of structure right there. So we always work with the internal break of structure, the order block for the internal break of structure. So our order block now is going to shift at this level. So we are going to be positioning at that order block. So we have our order block unmitigated, and then I can see we also have this break of structure down here, and then I can see price is forming liquidity at this level, equal high liquidity at this level that I'm seeing. And then heading over to the 1 hour time frame. From the 1 hour time frame, if we are to adjust, we can see that this order block has been mitigated. So this order block has been mitigated already. That one is of no use to us. Therefore, we are going to work with this break of structure right here. We are going to work with this break of structure, and then the order block which caused that break of structure, it is that order block right there. So it is that order block right there, and all this order block that price is creating down here is just liquidity as long as this order block is not mitigated. So we have liquidity that is sitting here, equal high liquidity that price has to clear. So I'm waiting for price to go and clear that liquidity that is sitting there, tap into my order block, and then give me a sell position like that, since our bias is bearish. So our coordinates for the sell limit, you can go ahead and place a sell limit on volatility 100 with your entry price at 612.96, stop loss at 639.87, and then you take profit at this swing low that is forming here at 516.61, and always apply proper risk management, as nothing is guaranteed in trading. We only work with probabilities. All right, that's pretty much it on volatility 100. Moving over to step index. So from the weekly time frame, our bias is very clear. We're in a downtrend as price is forming lower lows and lower highs. Going over to mark our key level, so we have a demand zone right at this level. And then we have a supply zone right there, but price is still far from that supply zone. And then we have our most recent break of structure right here. We have a break of structure. We have a break of structure right there, and then the order block which caused that break of structure from the weekly time frame, it is that order block where price is reacting from, and we are getting a push to the downside. Price formed a tweezer top, that is a reversal candlestick pattern to indicate the sellers are indeed in the market, and we are pushing down until this demand level. Therefore, our bias is very clear from the weekly time frame. We're going to be looking for selling opportunities until this demand level. Moving over to the daily time frame, adjusting our order block, it's going to be at that level, and our break of structure, it's going to be at that level. And then if we are to zoom in, we can see we have a break of structure here. That is the most recent break of structure. So we have a break of structure, and then the order block, which caused that break of structure from the daily time frame. It is that order block right there where price has just stepped in and we formed a tweezer top and we are pushing to the downside. Moving over to the 4 hours time frame. So from the 4 hours time frame, if we are to study the price action that happened here, so price stepped into this order block, and then we got a push. We got a push to the downside. And then we also had this break of structure right there. So we have that break of structure and then the order block which caused that break of structure. From the 4 hours time frame, it's that order block where price stepped in, formed a tweezer top, and then it's pushing to the downside. And then we have this break of structure. So we have that break of structure and then the order block which caused that break of structure. From the 4 hours time frame, it is that order block where price has stepped in, it has mitigated that order block, and then formed a tweezer top and we are pushing to the downside. And then right now we just broke a new low at this level. So we have a break of structure right there. We have a break of structure and then the order block which caused the break of structure from the 4 hours time frame. It is this order block that is the one that we're going to be working with. Heading over to the 2 hours time frame. From the 2 hours time frame, if we are to adjust our order blocks, the first one is going to be at that level where we got a break of structure right at this level, which is the general break of structure, and then we have an internal break of structure. Price went to go and take it to this order block and we are getting a push to the downside, and then we got this break of structure. Price went to go and tap into the order block and we got a push to the downside. So since this trade is almost complete, if we are to enter, because this move began from here. This was the first entry opportunity. Second, now the third is here. We just broke. Well, we broke this low. So if you want to enter this trade, you can wait for price to go and tap into that order block, give you any of the three reversal candlesticks patterns that is the tweezer top or the bearish engulfing or the bearish pin bar or the rejection candlestick pattern, and then get in and complete the move, because this is our swing low. Or you can hold your trade, until price breaks this low to give us a new break of structure. But eventually we are targeting this level. Once you enter the trade, it's going to be a swing trade until price gets to this level. So that's the only setup that is there for us to enter this trade. All right, traders, that's it for this episode. If you did find the episode helpful, consider subscribing to the channel and become part of the family, and happy trading. See you next week.